Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you. And it's for Tuesday, the 30th day of October, 21st day of CHESHVAN. Here we go. So, if you are somewhere and you want to eat your sandwich, it's made of bread, and you need to wash your hands in Netilas and you can't get any water, you can't even find anything to wrap your hands with. That's what we discussed in our last halacha. Then the next possibility, according to some poskim, like the Mishnah Berurah, would be to just make sure to not touch the bread and just eat the food with a fork. Okay? That's what the Mishnah Berurah allows. But you should only rely on this if you're good and hungry, because there are a fair number of important poskim that don't allow it, and they are the Chaye Adam, the Kitzer Shulchan Aruch, and the Aruch HaShulchan, who say no, you've got to wash your hands, and you cannot rely on the fact that only a fork will be touching the food. So if you're starved, then you can rely on that Mishnah Berurah. But in normal circumstances, we would tell you to try and wait, because there's a list of rabbis that don't allow skipping washing and just using a fork to touch the bread. Okay, now what about dipping your hands into a body of water? Could that qualify as Netilas Yadayim? And the answer, believe it or not, is yes. You could use a wellspring that's hot or cold, as long as it's enough water to cover both hands. You could dunk both of your hands in at the same time, and you're done. If it's a wellspring, you could dunk your hands in there, and that would be your Netilas Yadayim. You can also use a running river or a lake. That would be fine also. Just dunk your hands in, one at a time or one after the other. If it's discolored by bad things like smoke, pollution, or debris, then no, then you can't use that water. But if it's discolored by things that you would expect to be in the water, like just some sand or some other natural stuff, then that's fine, and you can dunk your hands in there. If you need to dunk your hands in the sea or the ocean, that's allowed also for Netilas Yadayim. Even if the water is too salty for even a dog to drink from it, then it's fine. Also, make sure that the water is not horribly discolored by bad pollution and stuff. A man-made lake could also be used. It just has to have 190 gallons or more. Most man-made lakes have that. But if you're going to rely on that, you might want to check with your rabbi, because there's a lot of complicated things about how the piping is laid into that man-made lake, so that could be mildly problematic. Also, you're allowed to dunk your hands into a mikvah, and that could be your Netilas Yadayim for eating bread. You do this, like I said, one at a time or together. You only have to do it once, and no drying is necessary. That's a surprise to most of you probably. No drying is necessary, and you make the regular bracha al Netilas Yadayim. Thanks for logging on, and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.